Good morning. Welcome along to part 37 of our Dundee United live stream series, and it's a big one today. We've got Monaco in the Europa League last 32. We've got Celtic, Aberdeen and Motherwell in three big games as we look to wrap up third and maybe even challenge for second in the SPL. And we've also got a new star who joined in a very last moment of the transfer window. So good morning to everyone who's waiting. Thank you for coming along. It is greatly appreciated. Mark, you're in early. Thank you for joining. It is much appreciated as always. And lovely to have the regulars in waiting. So if you haven't already, chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and say hello and all of that stuff. And fingers crossed, we'll have a lot to look forward to today. Because Dundee United, in theory, are on the up. We've got a stronger squad than we've ever had. That's for certain. There's still a few weaknesses, but we're on our way. The big question now, really, to the end of the season is who's going to finish in second place? Because if it's us or Rangers, will make the difference to whether this series is going to be a success or whether we need to think about moving on. So thank you everyone for coming in. Thank you for waiting beforehand. It's lovely to have you here already. Dylan, good morning. Another one of the regulars. Thank you for popping in. It is much appreciated. Delighted to have you all here today. And fingers crossed you're having a good Easter weekend. For most people, it's a longer weekend off work. For younger people, it's 2 weeks off school and college, isn't it? So, fingers crossed you're all happy regardless. But let's go and have a look at a few of the big things at Dundee United. Because we've had a few games off camera, which were the ones we expected to win easily. Didn't always work out that way, as you can see from the last game in the top right. We also had a last bit of transfer news, which has made a big difference to our club. Especially in that Falkirk game at the start. And we've got a little bit of injury news ahead of this one, which you can see at the top as well, which isn't particularly great. But overall, it's all positive, and that's what we want to see. Dylan Siva Mansver wants to join Wigan. He's wanted by Everton, Ajax and Villa. That'd be a hell of a coup, wouldn't it? You've got to be pleased with that. I'm really pleased that Wigan got their stuff sorted. They've been waiting long enough now. And they're one of the few clubs who, they weren't in financial mismanagement. They weren't living well beyond their means. They just failed. They were failed by the EFL donors and directors test. Without that, there wouldn't have been these problems. So I am glad that that's got sorted. And hopefully it'll be good times with the new owner. It's just being patient because it's not going to happen overnight. And I think a few fans probably expect that, given on who's taken over and the way they've talked, I guess. But hopefully Wigan fans will give them time. As I said before at the start of the season, I wouldn't even worry if you stay up this year. The most important thing is that you've got a club to support, and that's guaranteed now. So that's the main thing. But while we're here, let's go and have a look at some of the Dundee United news. If we have a look at the schedule very quickly, we've played 3 games off camera. We played the Rangers Cup tie, which we got absolutely pummeled in. We played Falkirk at home in the league, where one of our new heroes got a brace. And then Robertson, O'Reilly and Shanklin scored one each. All of those were before the red card. And then a squeaky 1-0 win at Dunfermline where Darren Watson got the winner. So, on the pitch, good in the league, not so good off it. Dylan, 18-year-old centre mid from Norway. It's good news, isn't it? And it's good if you can get people in at 18 or lower, obviously. They become homegrown at the club, which for the British rules on the way back up is great. And it's just the first team football thing, isn't it, for some? But let's have a look at the transfer news, because you were with me after all of the exciting stuff was done. We'd pre-agreed the deal for Dujon Sterling, who will be joining us in the summer. Really good, versatile player. We'd already had some sales, some loans out, and we've loaned one more youngster out to Dumbarton. And we'd already signed Ziege, Wolf and McCrory. Ziege's ironically been dropped to 2.5-star ability now, but he's playing well and he's doing alright, so I'm happy enough. We then got McCrory in, a record transfer, nearly £6 million for him. And then, on the final moments of the window, I was scouring through the scout reports, just trying to find someone with a little bit of talent. Wapos, good morning. John, good morning. Thank you all for popping in. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming along. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. It does make a massive difference. And of course, come and get involved in the chat. Plenty to look forward to today. But let's look at this guy, Nico Serrano. We went through all of our scout reports trying to find someone. And Nico Serrano was the only one that stood out that had a relatively affordable wage attached to him. So he comes in from Bilbao. There was one other who rejected us, but I genuinely can't remember who it was now, because I did that on Tuesday night after we finished the stream. But 95 grand total loan fee, 1.5 grand a week, wage-wise. It's not bad, is it? Now, he's an attacking midfielder off the right or the left, We're using him off the right at the moment. So he can play off the left as a natural winger. He can play up front as an advanced forward, which actually has given me a food for thought today. Or he can play off the right as an inside forward or as an inverted winger. Now, we were desperate for someone on the right, and I feel like Nico Serrano solves that problem. He came in on his first day, albeit against a full Kirk side who have been awful this season, and he scored 2 goals. He was the man of the match, and he was absolutely brilliant. So, fingers crossed that's the sign of things to come. El Gaming, good morning. Thank you for popping in as always. Lovely to have so many of the regulars in today. If you haven't yet, chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and say hello. But lovely to have you all here this early on a Saturday morning. A very quick thing while you're all coming in as well. Tomorrow morning even, Easter Sunday, I will be doing my first ever live stream on Twitch. So I'm going to have a go, and I'm going back to my favourite league in Northern Ireland. So fingers crossed, that'll be something we can really look forward to. But 10:30 tomorrow over on Twitch. There's a link somewhere in the description below. We'll be heading over to make our new series, and that will hopefully run most Sundays, bar when we're working. Mark McCrory should be a massive coup if he reaches the level expected. Absolutely. He's someone we'd been targeting a while. I'd love to be able to get this guy permanently, or at least on another year's loan, to be honest, because they're the two where I think you're probably the standard of player that can take us to the top of the league. McCrory is unbelievable. He's versatile. The only slight issue we've got is we had to promise him to be a ball-winning midfielder to get him in, and he ain't going to be a ball-winning midfielder because I can't take 20 bookings a season. But aside from that, we're all right. So let's go and have a look at our lineup for Celtic. A slight knock to Shankland up front, which is a bit of a concern. Aside from that, though, we're as strong as we can be. So Watson's coming in up front. Serrano's playing back off the right. He had a knock from following the full Kirk game. Mallon and McCrory have been the best two at the minute. So McCann and Robertson drop out. It's all fairly promising. We've not quite got Dembele back yet, but he's likely to be a bench warmer now. And I can't quite choose between Finlay and Kerr at centre-half. Though Finlay has done well, Kerr's the slightly better rated. So once Finlay drops off, then Kerr can come in. But overall, going into the Celtic game, I'm pretty happy. The worry is, we've got this game, Aberdeen and Monaco in a space of 3 or 4 days. So one of those games, we're going to have to rest people. I'm almost thinking now the Monaco match. I really believe we can make second in the league. And if we do that and get Champions League qualifiers, then Monaco in the last 32 are unlikely to beat anyway. So let's try and take it that way. Wapos, Nico Serrano is a massive talent in real life as well. Great to get him in on loan. For the wage as well, everyone else we were looking at, especially in the English leagues, is 15, 20, 25 grand a week. And it's not affordable. So I wouldn't worry about any of that. But the Nico Serrano one is going to be a brilliant deal for us. I really think he's going to shine. It's just how long we can keep him here for. And that's going to be the only question. Gaming Twitch Fancy. I've got to give it a go because lots of people have asked to. So we'll be able to do a little bit of both. The plan is, if the Twitch thing works well, that we'll just do a series of short-term saves. Just till the start of FM22. Just a few different clubs, a few different series. Maybe a Wrexham, you'll see. The problem is, as we said, since the takeover, there's so many of them popped up that it makes it a little bit difficult. But I'm just going to give it a go, see what happens. If it's any different, we'll be alright. I used my Twitch Prime a few weeks ago. Anyway, you need to get to affiliate before we can sub. So that's 50 followers. So I might be able to when you will. So I'm up to 7, I think now. I've got 7 followers and I haven't even done a stream yet. So that's pretty remarkable. But I'm not worrying about it too much before FM22 as any sort of regular streaming avenue, regular revenue, anything like that. It's just to get used to it really before the new game. And we'll see how it goes. At least splitting the old firm is looking more likely with those deals, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. I really think we can nick second this year, and I have to prioritise it. It seems silly not to, because I think it's the best chance we're going to have. It's a year where both of the old firm clubs have stagnated a bit transfer-wise, so we'll wait and see. Mark, McCrory and Mallon in the middle makes me a little sad. Mallon been to Turkey, McCrory turned Hibs down for Aberdeen. And that was probably the Derek McInnes factor, and he's now gone as well, which is a shame. So, fingers crossed. I'm hoping that we'll be able to really do well here. Ali McCann, I think we've got 4 of the best 8 midfielders in the league, to be honest. It's just about being consistent. It's just about having a strong enough squad to compete on all fronts. Ryan, good morning. Another one of the regulars. Thank you for popping in. We're well into double figures already, so thank you for all popping along. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. It does make a big difference. And I'm glad to see you all doing well. So thank you for coming in. Wapos 8 now, you're very kind. Thank you for going over. Do appreciate it. And I hope you're all enjoying the return to Northern Ireland tomorrow, because it's a league I absolutely adore. I watch all of the games on BBC iPlayer. They're so exciting. And it's just a real quality league. So I'm looking forward to going back there. I mean, I was looking the other day, the mobile series with Ballymena has randomly shot up to about 3,500 views. I've no idea where from. It was my first ever mobile series, so it wasn't the best, but fingers crossed, next year's one will be better. Right, I'm going to drop to... No, I'm not. I'm going to stick positive against Celtic. Let's really test these boys. Let's really see how good they are. I'm hoping it'll be very good. Dylan, good director of football in Mal Brannigan. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. It's a good aim, well thought of in football. L Gaming, it'll be 9 after the stream. You're too kind. Be lovely if we could get to double figures before the first stream. The only thing I'm worried about, because obviously I didn't stream here until we'd had sort of 1,100 subscribers maybe, is I've never streamed to nobody. That's the only thing I'm worried about with Twitch tomorrow. So if any of you are about at 10:30, just please put it on in the background and say hello so I'm not on my own. That's the only thing I ask. Even if it's one, I don't mind, as long as I've got somebody there. As Mengi's coming out from the back. We'll catch up with a chat after this highlight. Let's see how Dundee United go with this. Finley out to Mallan. We've played really well so far. We're on the front foot as well with Mockery. He's got time to cut inside. Gives it away to Hendricks, but Mallan recycles. We're starting to look good. A couple of little tactical tweaks again working. As Brooking goes, Serrano runs straight inside. Exactly what we want. Brooking getting to the byline. There's two with him. McCrory's run. Serrano's another. Tries to cross on that left foot. It's cut back to Brooking. He delivers in. O'Reilly's there. And he's been in poor form recently, but he gives us the lead. And we have definitely got a side that can compete with the old firm now. O'Reilly turned down a move to China for about 15 million. And Celtic tried to get him late in the window. But look what he's done to them now. As Mengi, why is he taking a backheel free kick there? What is the value in that? I don't like it. I hate showboating. It's unnecessary. El Gaming, thoughts on the Wrexham game yesterday? I think you probably should have won. It was a good start. You've got to bear in mind you can't do much about injuries like that. As Helder Costa's running down the left, gets towards the byline, and it's a penalty. It was not a foul in my book, but Mengi's been penalised, and now it's a penalty kick for Celtic. We'll come back to the Wrexham game in a moment. Sobel steps up the left back into the corner. Excellent pen, 1-1, and thoroughly undeserved for Celtic. But there we go. What can you do? The Wrexham game is a decent game. One thing that really annoyed me, and I won't say no just because you're a Wrexham fan, I won't say it. From both teams, by the way, Notts County and Wrexham. I was so disappointed by the level of diving and gamesmanship and all of that sort of stuff. It really did frustrate me. It's not what I'm used to seeing in the National League, as we've got our own penalty here. But yeah, you're right. Wrexham had great chances early on. They look a good side. And you'll both be in the playoffs this year. So I'm sticking with my Wrexham prediction to go up. As Mallan steps up from the spot, into the corner past the keeper. It's 2-1 to Dundee United. It's penalties galore at Tannadice. And what a start to the morning this could be. We could get above Rangers and within 4 points of Celtic. Could we win the title? Am I pushing it too much? We've only played the easy sides recently. Mark, did you watch the Dean Shields interview after Wilson told him he was leaving Dungannon? Absolutely awful. Night before the... Yeah, exactly. The player's been honest. He's gone to the manager and said, I've signed for them in the summer. Now, my reaction would be, that's fine. Give your all to the club to the end of the season, but I'm not going to play you against the club you're joining. Particularly as there's no relegation or anything to worry about. And, then he played him, took him off after half an hour. It was just embarrassing him. And in the end, there was only one person who looked embarrassing at the end, and it was Dean Shields. So, I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of it. Dean Shields, he was a very good player, and he was well regarded in the game. We've interviewed players who have played with him who thought he was great, but they're the sort of things that show you're naive as a manager, and he's got a bit of work to do on that front. El Gaming, my Wrexham page is flying at the moment. Hit 600 a few weeks ago, now nearly 7. Brilliant news. You just get those sort of spells with football. Like we had it with the podcast when there were all the manager specials. Like I can't remember, it was Sheffield Wednesday. It was... Who else was there? Salford were there a couple of times. There were just loads of championship ones. Pompey, Charlton. They were all in succession in a space of 3 weeks or so. And we just gained people galore. So it was lovely. But I'm glad you're having that sort of spell too. Wopos, the penalty stuff is probably an animation glitch, like we mentioned. Like you said in one of the comments, there don't seem to be more penalties than usual. Yeah, that's the thing. Overall, there's not more penalties in the game. It's just the way they look on the animation. Instead of looking like a trip, they look like a lovely clean tackle. It's one of those things. The same as those little short free kicks that we saw on the halfway line being taken with a back heel. There's no way they're actually being back heeled. Surely not. L Gaming, yeah, we only had one strike. Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? Because Kwame Thomas was injured in training yesterday. He was there in the boot, and then Ponticelli injured at the start. There were obviously a few knocks towards the end. It was a little bit worrying. But what can you say? It's one of those things. It happens occasionally. But Thomas is a focal point up front. And it's a shame, really. If you'd kept Adi Yusuf as a backup target man, he might have been able to come good there. Yeah, Wopos, you're right. It's clearly frustrating when it looks like it's not a foul. Carl, good morning. Another one of the regulars. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to have you here. We're well into double figures now, so thank you for coming in. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Plenty of fun this weekend. Dylan, Man City can't afford a new striker. I'll be fair to Pep. I think he said they can't afford Haaland, or they can't afford a striker that's going to be better. What you've got to bear in mind is they'll be able to get an average one, because Aguero's wages is probably, let's say 300 grand a week. Ridiculous as it is. That's, 15 million a year? So they could get a 10 million backup striker for Jesus on 40, 50 grand a week, and they're not losing any money, really. So there's a difference between they can't afford a new striker and they can't afford a new first choice striker, perhaps. That might be true, but financial fair play means they probably can't get a big name. I wouldn't be shocked if they get a backup. Or even maybe if they go for, like United did with Cavani, just for sort of an experienced player on a free agent deal or on a cheap deal, who the club are looking to let go. There's plenty of them about in the world. Yeah, Dylan, yeah, right. So I think that's all it is. I'm not saying they can't afford one, but the type. As we picked up an injury, I was just about to make changes, but we're going to be forced into it now. And that's not the way we wanted it to do. Dean Shields clearly learning his man management skills from his dad. Demands respect, doesn't earn it. I'm not going to comment on his dad, but I can see what you mean, to be honest. It's just one of those naivety things. If he learns from it quickly, he'll be all right. But, you know, I go back to Ian Evatt when he went to Bolton this summer, and he dug out a young keeper early in the year that he continued to pick anyway. And he sort of learnt a lesson from that. So, hopefully he will. Oh, they recalled Yusuf, did they? I'd have thought you could have gone and bought him, but I suppose, based on his form, you wouldn't have. Ryan, good morning. Thank you for popping in. I'm a Luton Town fan. I'm from Luton. It's my hometown. So you might just be able to make up the badge above my head there. But yeah, Luton Town is my club. Not a good result yesterday, but the fact we're on 50 points and safe already, happy days in my book. Carl Haaland will go cheap next summer. Wouldn't shock me. He's not going to sign a new deal, so I think they'll try and sell him this summer to whoever takes him. My worry is if he takes the easy route of going to PSG, because Haaland and Mbappe up top in that league is going to be unbearable for defences. Gaming, Wrexham can't recall people or loan people because of the Welsh FA rules. What's going on? We can only sign free agents. I found that bizarre. I only really thought about it yesterday when he mentioned it in the commentary, that Wrexham are playing in the English leagues, but their transfer window rules follow the Welsh FA rules, which doesn't make sense. You follow the rules of the league and the FA you're working in, not the one that you're based in. But yeah, another strange thing. Carl Stoke lost 87 million, but apparently that's okay due to COVID-19. But how are these clubs ever going to make that back? That's what I don't know. Because Stoke, to be fair, have still got a Premier League wage bill. The people like Joe Allen, the people like, I guess Shawcross just went. I guess that's part of the reason people like him did. It's just astonishing. But what can you say? It's one of those things, isn't it? Nobody saw it coming. I talked up Serrano, and he's now had an awful game, so he's going to come off. He'll be replaced by... I'm going to put the youngster Milligan on and Watson out to the right. Partly because I haven't got any other options, but mainly because it'll be fun. So, Darren Watson, right winger. Ray Milligan, poacher up top. And Mockery's had an average game, so we'll bring on Mikey Johnston against his former club. You can see already McCrory and Mallon, again, having a really solid game in the middle. Everyone says... I mentioned it in a tactical special. I know a couple of you commented. Everyone says don't use two players of the same role. You would do it in real life, so don't stop doing it in FM. And equally, I've got 2 deep line playmakers in there, and look how good they've been. As Malin gets the ball to Mengi, I'm waiting for the crucial error that cost us a goal from one of them. McCrory spreads the play to Watson. For me, there's nothing wrong if you want to play down both flanks, having a player who can spread the ball on both sides. Watson into the box, back to Milligan. Nearly scored against Celtic, the kid. It's a long clearance downfield. And at the moment, the decision to go positive is brilliant, because look at those stats. Celtic have had 1 shot on target. We've had 6. We've had 3 times the shot, 60% possession. And with 2 minutes to go, we are now going to throw on the time wasting, because we've got to make sure we get this result. Let's slow the pace down. Let's hold our shape. Let's drop those attacking lines. And fingers crossed, we can just cling on for a really important result. A slight injury for Watson, but we should have Shankland back in the weekend. And that is a huge moment for Dundee United Football Club. What we've got to do now is back it up against Aberdeen. Yeah, Carl, Tannadice coats on 469 million, so we should be okay. That's the one story this week that really frustrated me. I'm not going to lie to you. Particularly from my line of day work and the sort of addictions and problems that people have. And to see then someone earning 469 million out of it, essentially, is a bit annoying. Carl, it was mainly to get rid of loads of assets so they can spend some money. Yeah, it's a difficult situation, isn't it, for a lot of those big championship clubs? Because you've now got a situation in that league where Luton are one of the few that aren't. There's 15, 16 former Premier League clubs fighting for promotion or thinking they should be fighting for the playoffs every season. And you're gambling on a lottery, aren't you? Because once you get to the playoffs, there's no form or logic to it. It's just one of those things. We've got Darren Watson out for 5 to 6 weeks. So Serrano might become a makeshift striker. Brooking the same, which is a problem, because that's going to leave us a right back short. And our best right back short, more importantly. But yeah, interesting to see how the championship pans out, because it's been famed for a long time that the average expenditure is beyond turnover, which isn't sustainable. So it's which way it goes that we'll wait and see. But thank you to everybody popping in. Lovely to have you all along this morning. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Even if it's just for that brilliant result against Celtic. We are getting there slowly but surely. Thank you for everyone who's been in the comments. It's lovely to have such a live, active chat in the morning. And fingers crossed, look at that. We're separating the old firm as it stands. If the season finishes like that, we can gamble in the summer. We can try and get through the Champions League qualifiers. And then the save changes forever. At the weekend, we're away at Aberdeen. Celtic face Rangers. So I know it's probably not good with us only 4 points off the top to think negatively. But if we can beat Aberdeen and Celtic can beat Rangers, that gives us a 6-point gap. If that happens, or we've got 3-point or more gap, we're going to rest everyone against Monaco. We're going to go for second in the league and make sure we get it. And against Monaco, it's about defending anyway. So that's what we're going to prioritise. But a really good start. Hopefully we can follow it up against Aberdeen. And hopefully it will be a successful tomorrow when we're doing a live stream with our new club from Northern Ireland on Twitch. Dylan, have you ever thought about doing a weekly fantasy draft series with a guest? So I've had 2 sort of thoughts on it. Obviously I did it once before with Craig off the podcast. But it was before we had the audio and technical set up to a good enough level. So it was rubbish, audio-wise, essentially. But it's something I wanted to do. So I've considered it in 2 or 3 sort of forms. So one is to try and do it with some other YouTubers. Obviously, bigger ones that will help my channel and smaller ones where I can help them. I guess the only difficulty with that is a lot of the FM community is very different to me in the sense that I'm here, I adore football and I'm very analytical. Like even in my comments yesterday on one of the videos. Let me come back to that. Ryan, I've got to go now. What time's your streaming tomorrow? And I'll try and turn up. I'm 10:30 on Twitch tomorrow in the morning. And then here, Tuesday 5:30 PM, Saturday 10:30 AM every week with Dundee United. Thank you for popping in though. Lovely to see a new face with all the regulars. And I hope you have a good weekend. But yeah, Dylan, that's the one thing I thought about is when we go to the YouTuber ones, because I'm such a football nerd essentially, and a lot of those are sort of more casual fans or they support the top 6 Premier League teams, I don't want to get in that traditional position where we're all just managing basically the top players in the world. I'd want to do it with a lower league style. So that's the only thing that puts me off the fantasy draft to a bit. But obviously I could do a lower budget one with other people if they agreed. The second thought with it was longer term. Obviously, I would like to eventually have a go at it and make it part of my job and you know, make this part of my career part-time alongside my day work. And if I could do that, I was potentially thinking of offering it as like a sort of long-term down the line as a Patreon or a membership thing. As like, if you're a member for this month, for this much, then you can have we'll do a live fantasy draft. Or we'll do a fantasy draft video and I'll commentate on the channel. Something like that. So there's a few options with it, but it's something I thought about but not really pinned down how I wanted to do it yet. But I'm certainly open to it because it's something I quite enjoy. I just don't want to do it with like the big budget. You know, like the Streamer Showdown. It's really entertaining. They're really good at what they do. But it's always obviously the top players in the world. And that's not really my cup of tea, as you've seen before. I never, even in the live streams or the beta series, I don't really manage top teams. It's not something that is sort of, I don't know, appealing to me really. So yeah, that's sort of where I am on it. But even in the comments yesterday, like someone on was it the Tottenham episode? In the Tottenham episode, someone was saying, well, you don't get into the game for 8 minutes. You talk a lot more off the pitch than other people, as a sort of negative. But that doesn't worry me, because that's always been my style. And I've always been honest from the start to say, I love football, so I'm going to focus on the development side, on the training side, on the transfer side. And the games are sort of not as important to my content and the commentary as they are for other people. That's how I've tried to work it. So hopefully that comes across, because I have a smaller but more dedicated community. I've got people who I still even now get 200 views on nearly every episode that's coming out from the 2 long-term stories. I don't do all the fancy experiments that try to get thousands and millions of views, because it doesn't appeal to me that much. Any experiments I do will be niche ones. But I have got a mini-series plan that's going to come out over the next few weekends. Probably not yet ready for this one, because I want to finish recording it before it comes out. But I have got a mini-series that's going to be interesting. So hopefully that will be something you enjoy. But it's not going to be... It's stuff I want to do or I like doing, or from leagues I like, not really the ones that are going to get the most views. That's always been my way. L Gaming, I mean, if I Twitch sub, could I do one? Well, yeah, potentially. If I was ever got to the stage where I was setting up channel memberships on YouTube or Patreon or Twitch subs or whatever, if I was doing that, I would always then say, this is what you're going to get out of it. I'm not just going to offer it, you know, and say, do it. I'm never going to put content behind a paywall, which I know some do. You can release it early if you're on this or whatever. Nah, it's not for me. So I'll try my best to always make it as fair as possible. But long term, I've never hidden the fact I'd like to make it part of my job. But yeah, Dylan, it's an interesting question. It's definitely something I've been open to and thinking about the ways I can do it. Ryan, is your Twitch the same as your YouTube? Yeah, Load FM. So youtube.com/loadfm and twitch.tv/loadfm. Both the same. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for all the regulars that are in as always. And lots of interesting questions. So thank you all for giving them. Apologies for the long answers, but I always prefer to be honest. It's a chance for us to do so. Right, we've got tired legs. So the plan of resting everyone against Monaco might not work here. And the last thing I want is tired legs to falter towards the end. So I don't know how much we gamble here. In midfield, I'm not so worried because we've got quality across the board. So I can take out 2 good ones and bring in what was our first choice for most of the season. O'Reilly's a concern. Holsgrove's not match fit though. And up front we've got Shankland back. So the Watson injury's not a problem. But do I want to take out Mitchell and O'Reilly? I don't think I do. Dembele's fit for the bench again, so he'll come in there. It's just whether we take McCrory off for Smith, which I think we will. I'm going to leave the rest as it is. It might well prove to be a mistake, but let's go for it. Let's get our best team out there and let's see what they can do on the day. 4 changes made, 2 enforced, 2 not enforced. Thank you to everyone that's come in this morning as well. Lovely to have so many of you along. If you haven't yet, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved in the chat as always. A good result, Carl, for Stoke yesterday, by the way. Forgot to mention that. A classic Michael O'Neill special. And it's getting exciting down the bottom. My relegation tips are starting to look a lot better. They didn't look great for most of the season. But they're getting there now. And even Wickham are having a go. So the Championship's getting exciting. So Aberdeen have made 5 changes. We've made 4. It's not the most consistent lineups here. But that's the problem with this schedule, isn't it? And with Europe, we can't really argue with that too much. What we have got to make sure we do, though, is get something out of this game. A point could be a good result if Celtic then beat Rangers. But so far, there's not really been anything in it, and it's just waiting for that moment of magic. We've got warnings to close people down. We've obviously taken Aberdeen's best player in McCrory, which is something that's going to benefit us. They've not got that same creativity, and we've got the better. But Matt O'Reilly, before half-time, barely looks like he can move. So do you know what? I'm going to take him off. Jordan Holsgrove on. Let's get into the dressing room. Let's tell them we're not happy. Let's try and get on the front foot. And hopefully, in the second half, we can do something special. We've had the only shots on target of the game, and we've got a throw advanced on the right-hand side. Holsgrove, the sub, gets it. It's won back by Aberdeen, though, and they hoof it downfield. But it's straight to Finley. They've got nobody up there. Mitchell on the left-hand side to Mockery. Tries to take on his man, loses out to Hernandez, but Mitchell nicks it back again. Finley Robertson to McCann. Robertson into Holsgrove. Lack of match fitness, but certainly fresh, as Mitchell delivers early. Serrano's there! I told you he's a new hero. And what a hero he is. Nico Serrano with the goal again. A wonderful, wonderful goal from Dundee United. And back in the lead again. 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's all looking good so far. And if we can cling on for this, it'd be about the best 1-0 we've ever had. Let's make the change on the left wing. Mockery's knackered, so Mikey Johnston on for him. We'll still rest them all on Thursday night as well. Give them a proper week or 10 days off, depending on who it is. As Holsgrove gets it left side of the box. Into Serrano. Oh, it's just over. If he'd got a second, would have been our new favourite player. Not quite there just yet. Jack, sorry I'm late. Thank you for popping in. Lovely to have another of the regulars along. Anything interesting happen? Well, we dominated and beat Celtic. And as it stands, the race for second place is in our hands. If we win this game, we go 6 points clear of Rangers. Their game in hand is away at Celtic in the Old Firm. So if Celtic win that, second is looking a real possibility. We're going to sacrifice the Europa League. But this game is the important one. And we've got a chance to get a second here as we're keeping it nicely. Playing some really good football. But is the goal coming? Serrano, the new hero, who you have missed, Jack, came in on the last day of the window and was absolutely brilliant. 2 goals on debut. The goal today, and Shankland puts in the second. Dundee United are on fire. I know it's only 1 game away from a disaster. It's always been the case with Dundee United. But so far, things are looking absolutely excellent. We have got Finley, Mitchell and Serrano knackered. So I'm going to replace Finley with Kerr, not with Paul Smith. Finley replaced by Kerr, who's actually rated better as a centre-half. But he's a lot fresher as well. What we've got to bear in mind is Aberdeen have got tired legs too, as Johnston gets it on the left to Robertson. Johnston chips in. Serrano on the edge. Oh, that's brilliant. That is sublime from Nico Serrano. I told you we've got a new hero, didn't I? What a goal that is. 3-0 to Dundee United. 2 more to Serrano. And this is the difference now. We've got a stronger squad. Those signings have given us a new lease of life in the first 11, but meant those players, like McCann and Robertson, they were our first choice for the first half of the season. And now we need to rest our first team, get some fresh legs in, and we're bringing in our first choice midfield from before Christmas. We're bringing off the bench our first choice centre-half from the first half of the year. We're bringing in our big summer signing, Mikey Johnston, off the bench as a backup. It's such a positive sign. We've won again. And if Celtic beat Rangers tomorrow, second place is entirely in our hands. And that is unfathomable from the start of the season. Carl Serrano was superb on my Stoke save. He looks exactly the same here. I hope we don't lose him in the summer. We've got to find a way to keep him. Jack, well, what a start. He was right on cue, wasn't he? Just as I was saying it, he decided to pop up with an absolute screamer for his second. So, more than happy with that. But lovely to see we've got superstars in the team now. McCrory looked great in midweek. He dominated the Celtic midfield. And he's just gold dust. That's what we needed. He's the man of the match for the second time in 3 starts. I wonder can we put a bid in for him? The agent says he wants 13 grand a week. His contract expires in the summer. Oh, he's wanted by other teams, which might be a problem, but we've got to go for him. Oh, they're only letting us offer 6.5 grand a week, but we've got loads of transfer budget. Surely we can transfer some of it. That's only 7 grand a week. Why are we adding 20 grand to our wage bill and it's only adding a tiny bit to the wage? I don't understand. So let's put it all on the wage bill. We can still only offer 8 grand a week. We've got players on 10. What are the board doing to us? How do we find a quick way to reduce the wage bill outside the transfer window? I don't understand that. We've got players on 9, 10 grand a week. What would that be? 80, 90 grand under our wage bill? 135 grand a week under our wage bill. And I can't offer 10 grand a week to someone. Jack, what a start. L Gaming, you're back. Thank you for popping in again. Lovely to have you here. Ryan, could you link your Twitch? I can't seem to find it. I will do. Bear with me a moment. Let me just get it up. Bear with me. You'll have to ignore the poor graphics for now. It's in its early development. There we go. Thank you to everyone who supported this morning as well. Just a couple of thumbs up from double figures. So thank you for those that have come in as always. Let's go and have a look at what we can do wage-wise. We've got Dujon Sterling coming in. But I don't see what's stopping us getting Serrano. Are there any players wanted by clubs outside of the country? So Jason Kerr's wanted by a club in the Middle East. And if they offered like 4 or 5 million, perhaps we take it. Otherwise, Jack Byrne's on his way out. Can we try and sell him now? Will that still work? Or is their window shut? I think it is. I mean, I think we might have tried and they rejected it anyway, but no harm in trying again. If we have a look in our development centre, the Scottish domestic window is open, so we can reduce the wage bill slightly. Cooney's a free agent anyway, but he's only on 200 quid a week. And to be honest, he's not been that great, so we might as well just release him anyway. But I don't understand why with 135 grand free, we can't offer 10 grand a week to someone. Can somebody help me work that out? Is there anyone else that's on a pay-as-you-play deal that we can just get rid of? I'm just finding any excuse possible to reduce the wage bill. Because otherwise, we're going to miss out on our best player. Just because our board are being tight. Maka, good morning. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for following along. Great to see all the regulars in. L Gaming and Ryan both followed it. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Jack, asked the board to raise the wage cap. It's worth a go. Oh, thank you for the extra thumbs up as well. We're in double figures now. Absolutely brilliant support as always. I don't get it though. We shouldn't have to ask to raise it because we've got 135 grand free, but it's worth a go. You're absolutely right. So let's try it. We'll try the wage and the transfer one. So increase wage budget and increase transfer budget. The fact they're getting back to us shortly probably means it's going to be rejected. But let's go for it anyway. Please give me some good news. There's a shock. Both rejected. Let's put forward a compelling case. Ryan L Gaming both follow. Thank you very much. Maka, much appreciated. We're going live for the first time at 10:30 tomorrow. I'm sure all the fancy graphics won't be ready yet. So apologies in advance if it looks a bit amateurish for the first day. But it's lovely to have you all there. So thank you for supporting. And hopefully I'll be able to be enjoyable tomorrow for you. L Gaming, have you got plans for the Discord? Yes, Tuesday they will update. So rather than just being one channel where we put everything in, there'll be the Load FM channel chat will become a FM chat. There'll then be a football chat and then there'll be a general chat. So we'll just have 3 different chat forums basically. I don't mind having it all in one, but I know for people who want to post screenshots and things like that, that for those who want to talk football in the middle of the FM, we can lose different bits of the conversation. So that's the plan for that. But that'll happen on Tuesday. I've got a little schedule of what I'm doing with my 5 days off. And Thursday I actually had a whole day off. I didn't do anything for the first time in about 6 months, which was lovely. So I've got to make sure I throw one of them in occasionally. I'm desperate for more flexibility in the wage budget. We can't afford to pay everyone what they want. Let's go for it. It's important. Trust me. No. Just let me do it. Oh, he's so annoying. Mark Ogren has turned that down. Let's try the same with the transfer budget. Rivals will beat us to key signings. We're currently making a loss and the club isn't built to recoup those losses. Are we? Oh, Mark. Come on. The only reason we've made a loss, we spent 5.75 million on McCrory and we only lost 4 million. We've gained money every other month bar one. And we're in Europe and we're about to get a big money tie with Monaco. Excuses galore. So does that mean, let's think of that the other way. If we've then played Monaco and our bank balance is boosted again and we make a profit this month, does that mean that Mark will then let us offer more wage because we're running at a profit and he's not got to make that worry? So fingers crossed we can. L Gaming, that sounds good. Hopefully. Obviously, as I've always described on here quite fairly, I'm not the most technical man. So these things do take a while. But Celtic have beaten Rangers. Wow, we are 6 points clear and we're in the ascendancy. So we're resting everyone against Monaco because next Sunday we've got Motherwell at home. Rangers have got a tough game against Aberdeen. If we win that, we could be in a fantastic position. But yeah, I'm not the most technical man, but I am trying, sort of like I did last year around this time. It's when I started streaming. It's when I started to change the style of the content on the channel to be the more natural me. And that really worked well. And the sort of changes had a positive impact when FM21 was released. And we've grown at a rate that we've never seen before. So I'm hoping the same will happen again this year. If I can put things in place for Twitch, for Discord and all the other stuff before October, then we'll be in a good position. Because we should have a new Ashes game this year as well. So that's something I'm bearing in mind as well. Is that there could be a new Ashes cricket game around the same time. And both of those have been massive successes on the channel. And for some of you guys who hate cricket, it might be nice to see a bit of it in a more laid back style. So that's something I'd like to do as well. But we'll wait and see how it pans out. But I would really like to, at the start of the next FM, just sort of, hopefully the pandemic's in a good position. I can drop my hours at work a little bit because that's exhausting. And then just be able to do part work, part this, and try and make it a part of the profession. Have a real go at it. Because the podcast is now past 1,000 as well. It's just started to be monetised. It's obviously a tiny amount in ad revenue. Like even here, I'll show you one day, I'll do a video about it, but it's not a huge amount. It's between the two channels, it's less than £100 a month, to put it that way. L Gaming, in the future, would you ever be interested in doing something with a fan page? Potentially, yeah. I can't see why not. The only difference, I think it would be better with the podcast channel, like because we do the National League predictions, the playoff, particularly if Wrexham reach the playoff final, that could be a good one because we do a National League playoff predictions. So that's something that could work in the initial period. If I end up managing Wrexham in FM at some point, then that could work a treat. But definitely works. It seems a good idea. If you're in the playoff final with the podcast, it would work a treat. L Gaming, thank you for the help as always. You are the man behind the Discords. You always get your credit for it. Macca, I'm Scottish. I have no idea what cricket means, but I'll simplify it for you. But there's nothing better. My cricket style reflects my FM style. There's the all guns blazing T20 trying to hit the ball as far as possible. And then there's the lovely little defensive nudge the ball into the spaces. That's my style of cricket. I'm an old school man, so that's how it works. So I'm more the leisurely stroll in the park version of cricket. Right, I'm not going to put anyone else in the under 23s because I think those two are unregistered. Paul Smith can't play either, actually. So, because we could only register 3 new players, and they had to be McCrory, Ziga, and Serrano, because they were superstars. Oh, no! It was finally going well. Everything was looking good. And then Ted Mengi picks up a 2-month injury. Oh... It was all there. It was all happening. We finally looked in the top 2, and now we've lost possibly our best player and the best centre-half. Mark, say Macca, I think it's like rounders. Just in time to see you get demolished in the Europa League. No Segrist. No Segrist. He is playing in a championship. He's got no experience of Europa League football now. He can't even play there if he wants to. Where is he now? He's at Bournemouth, isn't he? Oh, are they in the Europa League? Where are they? Oh, they're a Premier League side. Hang on a minute. I've lied to you. Bournemouth are in the Europa League, so Benjamin Siegrist could well get a Europa League winners medal while we're sitting here with Dundee United. After all that, how hilarious. He did obviously star in our Bangor City Europa Conference run in the other series, so he can't keep him out of this channel, can you? We're going to have to do a mural to him or something. Give him a shrine in the background of some of the videos. Maybe we'll just make a whole story based on him at some point. Put him in charge of one of the clubs. Yeah, unfortunately, El Gaming, all Scottish people think that cricket is rounders because there's they don't really have the sport up there. They have had a little bit recently. Scotland have had a little bit of success because they've had obviously sort of the influx of immigration in the UK from the sort of like the subcontinent countries, and it sort of helped the Scottish national team. They are doing okay now, a bit like Ireland and a bit like England, but unfortunately, I don't think Scotland will ever truly embrace cricket. It's not their style of sport. But then Scotland have got curling, which nobody else goes for, so it's 1-on-1. Two sports I love. England doesn't like one of them. Scotland doesn't like the other. But I'm going to bring you together. We'll find something that we can do cricket and we'll find something where we can do curling. Because there's nothing I love more than those two. And obviously snooker is a big passion of mine. But I don't think there'll be a new game for a while yet with the pandemic affected years. Siegrist got an assist against you. That's a disgrace. I never doubted his ability with his feet. He was always good at that. He didn't save many shots though, did he? So that's the main thing. And that proves that we were right. He was always good distribution-wise. So, what can we do here? We're going to play our reserves against Monaco. It's going to be an even weaker reserves than it was before now. Because we've got to keep our 11 best fit players for the weekend. And we don't want to risk them being knackered. So out goes everybody. Xander Clark will get a going goal. In defence, we are going to go for... Where's the left back? Stephen Dunn's not there. Oh, yeah, he is. So we're going to go for a 16-year-old left back. Or is he 17 now? No, it's still 16. Dehaney's still starting at the minute because of injuries. So Kerr will have to start with Finley. Which means we've got Nielsen. And that's about it. So Kerr hasn't played recently, so he should be alright. What we'll do then is we'll drop Ray in at centre-half and put Nielsen to right-back. Which I can already tell you is going to be a disaster. But either way. Dylan, one underrated sport is Gaelic football. It's so entertaining. It is. I can't really get into it, but those sports that are end-to-end are great. Wapos snooker is so good. For some reason, I really enjoy it. Couldn't agree more. And they show most of it on free TV over here now. So there's like a few channels in the UK where it showed. So like all week, the Championship League has been on the free sports channel in the UK. So whenever you're not doing something, you can just turn it on and watch it. It's so entertaining. I just love it. And the standard's so good now compared to before. Mac, a massive game for Sterling today. Away to Queen's Park, the league leaders. It's 4 points out of 6 since you're back, isn't it? You won 1-0 and drew... Was it 1-0 in the second game? I do try and keep my eyes out for your guys' teams, just to see how you're getting on. Elgame, and also, what apps do you use to make your profiles and thumbnails? I use Canva for all mine. Same here. All Canva for me. The thumbnails is something I always... There was the biggest thing I changed this time last year, was the thumbnails to a sort of cleaner, more sleek professional look, rather than the trying to get all the things about it on the page. I think that's the difference, really. In terms of people finding you. Jacob, if I got a snooker game, I'd just keep potting black balls without potting a red first, because it'd be funny. Oh dear. There are some people that do like that sort of thing. I'm not one of those. Wait, what? You use Canva as well? Yeah, I've always used Canva. Well, no, not always, but since they've been good, I've always used Canva. We use them for the podcast channel and for this channel. Jack, snooker is some of my favourite commentary on any sport. The snooker commentary is really good. You've got to give it to them. Dylan, snooker is great. I bought an 8-foot table in the first lockdown. My dream life is if I could have a house big enough that I could have a room dedicated to either a pool or a snooker table. It would just be the life. Right, let me pick this line up quickly and then we'll get back to the chat because I don't want to keep you here too long this morning. If we're out after the first leg of Monaco, we won't worry about the second, because as you've seen, we're not prioritising it. We're going to keep Mallon and McGrory rested. We're going to play McCann and Robertson again. They did well at the weekend. Then Dembele can make his comeback. Oh, Smith can play here. I didn't realise he was eligible. The centre-half we're missing is that Brazilian one. He came in January but couldn't be registered. Up front, we haven't got Watson, so we're going to have to go for Milligan, the youngster. Number 10 will be Holsgrove. Left wing will be Johnston. Smith's on the bench. Shankland's light match load. He can be on the bench anyway. But the ones we'll try and bring on are the ones that aren't affecting the first team. So I think overall, we've got to be pretty happy with that. There's our squad for today. Not real much in terms of quality, but this is just about enjoying the occasion, making the most of the income. And hopefully, I mean, we went out to Shamrock last year, so there's no shame in doing the same to Monaco. Dylan, I bought Snooker 19 as well and did a career with Sonny Akani. Good player. It's the one thing I really regret from the old snooker and cricket videos, is the style of the content wasn't great. It was when I was at my worst, like broadcasting wise. But also I had this little rubbish mic that was plugged into the capture card for the Xbox. And I didn't realise until literally about a week ago that I can stream it and record it on the PC. Which I think, now that the internet's solid and working and everything else, will really revolutionise that content and allow it to be face cam, same audio quality. Which I'm going to test obviously before the new cricket game, but I think that could be amazing for me. Because if I can get that content to the same quality as this one for people coming in, who knows? It just depends on the timing of the games. Because if cricket comes out of the same week, for example, as FM, I have to prioritise FM. If the cricket comes out 2 or 3 weeks either side, I can do a little bit on both. As early on, it's a corner for Monaco, header over the bar. We've dropped to balanced already because we don't want to get caught out here. But it's going to be a heavy defeat. I warn you now. Dylan, you can buy 6 foot folding ones at Argos. I ain't got 6 foot anywhere, mate, I'm afraid. I would absolutely love to, but I mean, to give you a bit of perspective, this is my channel of my office here, and this here with my hands on is the bed. So that's the stretch of my office. Oh, I thought they'd scored there. They tried to lob Clark, but they got away with it. Jacob, I played in a snooker tournament and I absolutely robbed a victory. Didn't deserve to win at all. We used to love it. It was a brand called Riley's, wasn't it? When we were in school. As they've scored Monaco, they have opened the goal scoring now. But yeah, there used to be a Riley's in the town centre, and we used to go, because you could go 3 hours pool for £5 or 2 hours snooker for £7. And 4 of us would just share a table. So it only worked out like £1 each. And it's for value for money and entertainment, like, it was a lot cheaper than getting, say, Sky Sports and watching the football, for example. So we used to play 3 hours of tennis up the park, 3 hours in there, and that was the evening every day. When my level of fitness was very good and not awful like it is now. Elgaming, I used to use PixArt, but I was recommended Canva by a few other fan pages. I used that and my edits got a lot better. Absolutely. I find Canva really easy to use. But we use it even for like the intro videos and that as well. Not so much as Monaco have scored again. I don't use it for the ones here. Because at work we've got Adobe Spark, so I use that. But for the podcast, like the little introduction at the start of the podcast, the 4-second thing and that, they're all Canva. So I couldn't recommend it enough. Dylan, I rewatched your Snooker 19 videos. You spoke so fast I couldn't keep up. The same with the cricket ones. The actual content was decent. It's just, I was a mess there. I was so young in the infancy of the channel that I didn't have a clue how to make videos yet. So, and it's just the confidence thing, isn't it? You don't think people will want to listen to what the real you is. They think they want that broadcaster. And unless you're exceptional, you can't get away with that. Like, I think probably of the big YouTubers, only like Dots of Benji probably talks really quick. And he can get away with it because he rarely falters doing it. But no, I'm not able to do that. So all of the content moving forward, even the snooker and the cricket, will be a much more calm and considered one. But late in the FM cycle, I will chuck a few other games out. That's what I did last time. The snooker one and the cricket ones were in the summer. So it normally works out nicely. I'm glad you still enjoyed it though. I really love the games. They're two fantastic games from small sort of companies. I don't know what you call them. But they're really good. So if you like those sports, I'd recommend them. Jacob, streaming is good depending on what internet you have. Some there's no point. It is one of the things. I will say it. We had a spell last year, obviously, where it cut out for a little bit. Normally when your contract's up for renewal with my provider, that's when that happens. But otherwise, it's exceptionally quick compared to others. As we pick the ball up in a defensive role, it'd be lovely to get an away goal here. Because, my word, if it's 2-1, we might well be in the time. We'll have a decision for the second leg. It's into the back post. Nearly was 2-1. Easy save in the end. Mikey Johnston possibly should have done better there. But he doesn't as it happens. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. I haven't said it for a while. If you haven't yet, please do put a thumbs up on it. Come and get involved in the chat. Lovely to have one or two new faces and pretty much all the regulars in today. As it's headed over the bar, we're creating chances here. We're really giving a threat to Monaco. I know we haven't really got any first teamers we can bring on. And we don't want to because we want to keep them fresh. But it's good to see that we've put up a bit of a fight. Though they're in for a third here. Nielsen heads away. It's only a temporary lapse though because they're coming back again. You can see where the struggle is. The two youngsters have really struggled. Glenn Ray at centre-half. He's not a centre-half. And the rest of it has been alright, to be honest. It'll be good fitness for some of these lads though, either way. So 25 to go. Let's look at some changes. Dembele's coming back from injury, so I'm going to give him a rest for Paul Smith. Jack Byrne can come on for Milligan. And then we'll put... Do we put Smith or Johnston up front? I think Smith might be better, to be honest. So we'll put Smith up front. We'll put Byrne on the right. Johnston stays on the left. I don't really have any other backup subs. So if I'm going to bring somebody on, I'm wasting their fitness. So given the fact it's 2-0 and we've done all right, I'm just going to leave it. I know we could worry about the fact that Kerr's supposed to start at the weekend. But I don't think we can worry about that. He's not played for ages. He should be fine. But thank you for all your support as always. It's lovely to have it so active. I think we will probably be out the Monaco tie. But our focus now is going to be the Scottish Premier League. As Lacazette picks it up to Coquelin. Out to Volland on the right. I mean, you're talking about very good footballers here. As Volland gets the ball back to Henriks. Chance to cross. Into the byline again. If they get a third, it's probably tie over. McCann heads it away. They're defending hard. You've got to be fair to them. And Titi picks it up. Bruno to Lacazette. Stunning football from them. They're keeping it brilliantly. They're pressing well. Henriks into Volland. Chance to cross. Tannadice in. And that is the end of the tie. Unfortunately, we will go out of the Europa League as expected to Monaco. But this young backup side has done a brilliant job of fighting. And you've got to give it to them. They've fought really hard. They've worked really hard. They've just not got enough quality. What I will say now is Finlay Robertson is knackered. So we probably will have to make one more sub in the middle. What a challenge from Mikey Johnston. You saw the mud go with it. Brilliant to see. We'll bring on Stevie Mallon, I think, in a moment. Just to give him a couple of moments of football. As Henry picks it up on the right-hand side. Gets towards the box. In beats his man. It's good save by Xander Clark. Mallon will replace the shattered Robertson. And with 20 to go, I just want to keep it as free. El Gaming, I see that you like the odd post on my page, so thanks for that. Not a problem at all. I'm still barely using Instagram, to be fair. I just do it to give you the fun of the selfie each week. Just to see when we eventually get the haircut. But there you go. Jacob, Stephen Dunn looking dangerous with that 6 rating. Not even 6 now, we're into the 5s. You spoke too soon with that one. To be fair to him, as Lacazette scores a 4th, he's 16 years old, he's 1.5 star ability, he's played about 3 professional games, and now he's lining up marking Lacazette. It's a different world for him, isn't it, in fairness? He's then playing alongside an unfit centre-half, a centre midfielder who's covering at centre-half, and a centre-half who's covering at right-back. So I don't think we can pin all of the blame on Dunn, but he's down to 5.7 now. It's not been his finest day in the office. But overall, do you know what? Would the first team have done much better than that? I don't know. It was a decent effort. And now at the weekend, we've got the chance to prioritise. If we beat Motherwell and stay 6 points clear of Rangers, or even better if they drop points, it will all be worth it. The question is, are we able to achieve that? And that's what we're going to find out before we polish off here. Because we're definitely out of the Europa League, so I'll play the second leg off camera. I don't want to keep you too long for your Saturday morning football. And obviously, as we're doing an extra one tomorrow as well, I want to bear in mind the fact that I've got to make time to make the videos too. Unfortunately, although I was recorded well in advance, we then got to the summer when both of them. So it was 2 big transfer windows to get through. Poor Stephen Dunn, absolutely. I do feel for them. I've thrown a few of them under the bus there. But I didn't have a choice. Let's be honest, if we didn't have injuries, if Morgan Boyes hadn't have forced his way out, if Mengi hadn't have got injured, Glenn Ray wouldn't have been at centre-half, and there would have been a strong centre-half partnership. If we didn't have the injury at right back, Dehaney would have played. Milligan would have been on the bench if Watson was fit. So they've sort of been forced out a bit by the injuries. And now, Shankland's got another one. That means no Shankland and no Watson. So he might have to play with a tight thigh. We've got a full week off afterwards. In fact, we've got a week and a half off afterwards. So hopefully that will be okay. But it could be a bit of squeaky bum time as you go towards the end. I can see we've got a big run of away games coming up too. L Gaming, great stream as always. Thank you for the kind words. I think doing it for a year now, I know I fumble my words a lot more and there's more pauses and all of that stuff, but I just try to be honest with you and have a chat, and I feel a bit more comfortable doing it now, quite confident. And I know what my limitations are. I'm not here trying to give you the... You know, there are some people you see on Twitch now, they're screaming excitement into your face. I'm not capable of that. I'm a boring old man at heart. I can promise you that. So I've got no complaints for that one. Dylan, I've got a game to watch in real life today. Oh, very exciting. I will, next Saturday, for the first time, we've got a game to watch live. So me and Charlie are going to go and vlog it. It's a Step 7 game. They've made like a mini cup. And we're going to go and watch that and do a little vlog for the podcast. But it's going to be absolutely lovely. I mean, I was fortunate in the sense that the one Luton game where there were fans in against Preston, I got to go. But otherwise, it's been a while, so it'd be lovely to see. Right, the assistant's recommending 10 changes, so let's see what he's gone for. So he's gone Serrano up front because of the Shankland knock. But I don't want Dembele to start, so I'd rather start Shankland. Serrano and Mokri off the wings. O'Reilly number 10. Nobody's got a heavy match load, which is great. I didn't think of that. I could put McCrory in at centre-half and push the others up. What a good idea, assistant manager. That's what he's here for. So McCrory's going to play centre-half. Mallon can then play alongside Finlay Robertson. McCann's on the bench still. I mean, McCann's rating's really dropped off for some reason. Maybe it's just that he's not developing. But then we've got a much stronger side. So, well done, assistant manager. Let's go and change your bench, though. Dembele will be on there for Tyler Wolff. So I'm just trying to think positionally. Milligan will go on, so we've got a striker. Dembele and Smith are going to be the wingers. McCann and Holsgrove the midfielders. Kerr the centre-half. And then either Lewis Nielsen, who can be a sort of utility man, or Adriel, who's the young player who's come in. I don't know. I think having Kerr on as a centre-half, although Mikey Johnston's not there. So we'll put him on for Milligan. Smith will be the striker. Adriel replaced by Lewis Nielsen, and let's crack on. That's what we're going for. Final game of the morning, and if we win this, second is surely going to be in our hands. Dylan, my local sports club are playing Wigan Juniors, so I'll be down the club to watch that. Excellent to see. And that's the thing now. Outdoors, it's always okay. As long as you're distance and you've got a mask or whatever, you'll be all right. So just take the precautions, because the main thing is that we don't want to cause... You might think, oh, that's a little bit excessive now, but don't take anything where someone can take a snapshot, like those FA Cup games last year, where people took the snapshot and went, look, they're not distancing, now we're going to stop spectators coming in. As long as we can keep it so we keep getting fans in, that's the main thing. And at non-league level, I don't care what football it is. As long as we can go and watch something live. We're going to tell the boys to prove a point. We're going to get into it. It's the final game in the morning at home to Motherwell. And this could be massive. Dundee United looking dangerous. Stephen done solid at left back. Under 23 team played in Europa League. The cups mean nothing. I honestly mean this. And I sort of understand the Premier League top 4 thing from it. I'd always rather win a trophy because there's massive money. As Shankland gets the goal, it was right to play him. Even if we can take him off at half time, we're happy. But if we get second in the league and we can sneak through the qualifying to the Champions League group stages, that's a guaranteed 12-13 million. And that's the save change forever. So I have to do it. I have to prioritise the league now. if we bottle second, I expect a lot of criticism. But we have got a good goalkeeper now, which does make a difference too. Gaming, if you need any help with the Discord, don't worry about messaging me. Much appreciated. I appreciate all you young guys helping me out with the technical side of the stuff. Also, what's your favourite ever on-camera and off-camera saves? On camera, one of two. Either Torquay, FM19, I love that save. Or this year's head coach, because it's had so many twists and turns. I'm really loving Bangor as well, but it's not quite there yet because of the rest of the nation. I did enjoy Cliftonville, but it was only a bit short, and it was possibly a bit easy because you can loan infinite players in Northern Ireland. So for the live stream series I'm starting tomorrow, I've put some sort of extra restrictions on moving forward. But yeah, probably either Torquay from FM19 or this year's head coach, I would say. Off camera, 2015 San Marino save. It was like 24 years. I got to the last 16 of the Euros, had 2 different Ballon d'Or winners over time. It was incredible. Oh, Stevie Mallon, what a goal. Stopped in my tracks there. That is a rocket. Stevie Mallon with a thunderbolt. I love them when they hit the top of the crossbar and come down off the line. Then rattle into the roof of the net again. They're my favourite type of goals. 2-0 Dundee United. I tell you what, Rangers must win now, because otherwise they're in trouble. We need Aberdeen to do us a favour. As O'Reilly's chasing the ball in the middle. He's picking the ball up 30 yards out. Goes back to Mitchell, but you can see what the rest has done. We look a completely different side here. O'Reilly and Shankland's goal. 3-0. Jacob, it's paying off. It is paying off. Jacob getting through the best place qualifier with that team. 10-0 loss to Ajax incoming. I understand that. But just reaching the Champions League will make a difference. And don't forget that summer, that 2 months, where the players say, I'd like to join because I'm looking forward to playing in the Champions League with Dundee United. That's the bit that makes the difference as well. As O'Reilly's in, I tell you what, at half time I'm going to take Shankland off and rest him. Because it's comfortable. It really is. And it's paying off at the moment. What were your replies to my 2 most recent messages? Thank you for your help with the Discord. Favourite on-camera save, either FM19 Torquay or this year's head coach. Off-camera, 2015 San Marino challenge. No doubt about it. It was brilliant. If I was making content there would have been a few ups and downs. I had a player, a left-back called Marco Stefanelli, won the Ballon d'Or, and a centre midfielder called Alessandro Volpinari, who was just unbelievable. So, I'm going to take Shankland off shortly, but Rangers are now winning against Aberdeen, which is a problem for us. But let's go and make the change. So, I'm going to bring on... I'm going to bring on Dembele, and I'm going to put Serrano up front. Just give him a go. He can be a... I'm going to leave him as a poacher. Dembele will be a winger on the right. Let's just see how they get on. It's a lovely position to be in, to be brutally honest. McCrory's been solid enough at centre-half. And it's just worked a treat. Everything has been comfortable. We've nullified their attacking threat. We've taken our chances. We've just got to keep doing it, as we've got to throw in to defend here from O'Donnell. It's gone past everyone to Richardson, into McDonald. Good save by Ziga. Into the sevens with his rating. A wonderful stop. Benjamin Siegrist to be palming those in. I told you, Jacob, we've made the right decision. As Polworth takes the corner. Please don't make a mistake now. Mallon heads it away. Excellent defending. Mockery's had an average game. I'm going to replace him with Mikey Johnston. But we've got our own corner first. Mallon's had it headed away. Mockery picks it up. The man who are about to take off. To O'Reilly, whose shot's blocked. And McDonald can counter. Motherwell are in. Where has the defence gone? Richardson gets there. He's in one-on-one. Ziga saves again. We have got a brand new hero. Ziga, an absolute sensation, as Serrano gets on the end of a through ball. Back to O'Reilly. You can see the changes have disrupted the team slightly, but we're still going forward. The Haney's lost out, but it falls for Dembele. On the right wing, chance to cross. Back to Mallon, loves the shot, and scores another one from distance. Brilliant, brilliant play from Stevie Mallon. I'm going to take off the Haney at right back and give Lewis Nielsen 25 minutes. Good for the youngster to get on. The Haney's the only fit natural right back, so we get him a rest as well. 1 point off Celtic, potentially. We'll see what their results are, because they've got a game in hand. If we can catch Celtic, if we win the title, then we might as well just resign and leave it there, and accept that that's the best we're ever going to do. But then I guess we'd be straight in the group stages, so we could go really big then. As O'Reilly's made it 5. Nielsen sets it up off the bench. I've got to say, I know that we'll probably draw a stupid game at some point and throw it all away. I have never felt this excited about Dundee United. We're taking chances. We're putting teams away. We've got strength in depth. We've just bought on a right back who's got an assist. We've bought on the 2 wingers who started the season as first choice. We've got injuries and you can't even notice it. Our best centre-half's out. Nobody would know. Rangers have gone 3 up against Aberdeen, so the gap will stay 6 points there. But we look pretty formidable at the moment. I'm so happy with the way we're playing. El Gaming, what's happening with the podcast Discord? Because I remember you mentioned it once. So the plan is that we're going to try and do it in the off-season. We want to just sort of get as much good video content out as possible at the moment. We've got some great interviews to bring out, some unique ones. And obviously there's championship predictions twice a week till the end of the season. We'll have all the playoff ones as well. We'll still have manager specials as and when they pop up. So there's going to be a lot of videos out. So we probably can't commit to more at the minute because we're all still in key worker industries, unfortunately. So we're still all working as normal and have been throughout. But for us, I think that's the main thing. We'll try and do that in the off-season. We do want to try and do a live stream as well, like around the Euros. We don't ever want to sort of live stream the games that we care about. So like the Luton game or let's say the England matches or the UK teams. But we love football. We want to show like a Northern Irish Premiership game. Or if it's the Euros, we want to live stream Austria v Macedonia, for example. And just talk football. That's what we love. So if we can do that hobby on camera, then great. Thank you to everyone coming in as well. The thumbs up have absolutely shot up. So thank you for your support as always. It is the last game of the morning. But let's finish the SPL weekend to see how the other teams have done. Celtic lost to Ayr United. The title race is on. Who scored that goal? Aaron Muirhead. 33 years of age now. You absolute legend. He's on the transfer list. Get him off there. How dirty of you to treat him like that. Brilliant player. Got the long throw and penalty. I tell you what, if Carl's still in, there's your signing. 19 long throws, 20 penalties. The perfect player for your team. What a goal. Celtic lose to Ayr. This is incredible. We're going to have a look at the schedule in a minute to see when we'll be back. Because we've now got to focus on the domestic side of things. And the big games against the sides that we can win. Because we are in a title race in Scotland. We gambled a bit in January, but it's paid off. I just don't want to lose out on Serrano. So we'll go and have a look. Have we made a profit now this month? We haven't, because those last transfers came towards the end. So the 1st of March, it should tick over. And this month, we're still officially losing money. Monaco at home's on the 29th, though. So that will take us back above, because we'll sell that out. And if that gets us into profit, then we'll make the big offer. And hopefully, we won't be beaten to him. But a wonderful position. We're 1 point off the top of the table. We're 6 points ahead of Rangers. We've got a great opportunity to win it now. Carl, I'm on the hunt for him to see if he can come to Newcastle Town. Absolutely right. What a player he is. He's like your perfect man. You win a few penalties from the long throws with the match engine at the moment as well. So, double trouble for him. I was thinking about, genuinely, I would almost, for tomorrow's live stream on Twitch, I was going to do Melbourne Victory. Because they had the 2, I like watching the A-League. They've got Butterfield and McManaman who were at Luton last year. But they've also got Ryan Shotton. And they've also got a couple of other familiar names as well. But in the end, it just didn't work out. The squad looked awful. There were like 3 right wingers, no left wingers. 3 right and centre halves, 1 goalkeeper who was average. And it just didn't work out there. The podcast Discord, so we're looking at the Summer L Gaming. Just because we want to get as much content out as possible beforehand. We also want to try and do a live stream at some point during the Euros. Just for one of the games, the neutral games. Because we don't want to do ones where I don't want to be like, you know, one of those fan TVs where it's, oh, we're emotionally charged watching this game and we're going to shout and rant and rave. No, we want to talk football. So, Austria-Macedonia is the first one we've got eyed up. Macedonia, to be fair, might be contenders the way they're going at the minute. So what we're going to do, we have got Monaco and then 6 league games before the split. So we'll play Monaco off camera. We'll play Hamilton off camera. Then on Tuesday night, we'll do the last 5 games before the split. And then on Saturday stream next week, we'll do the last 5 games after the split. And we could well be in a title race. We've already played Celtic 3 times. We've got Rangers away, which might be difficult for us. And we've got away games against Livingston and Inverness, which you'd like to hope we can win. And at home to Hamilton's a big game. They're a side we've struggled with, particularly in that cup final. And Ayr at home, who have just shocked Celtic. But as it stands, as we finish this stream, we are 1 point behind Celtic at the top of the table. Carl Ryan shot on is your hero, no doubt about that. I didn't even realise he'd gone over to Australia in real life, to be honest. I'm sure someone mentioned it to me. It might have even been you. It completely left my mind. Then I suddenly saw him there with McManaman and Butterfield. But they're bottom of the table in real life. They've got one of the best sides. FM has them finishing third. And right at the bottom, because there's no balance to the squad. And when you watch the games, because they're on very early on BT on a Saturday morning. So you get to see them very early on. And so I normally catch one of the 2 games, the latter one in the morning, because they have a 6 and an 8 o'clock. And traditionally, they've been poor this season. There's some surprises there as well. But thank you so much to everyone for coming along. I've really appreciated your support as always. A massive thank you for all of the live chat, the activity. It's been great to talk football for an hour or so. And hopefully you've enjoyed it as always. A final reminder, please do come and check us out on Twitch tomorrow at 10:30, a first ever live stream. As long as I'm not streaming to no one, I don't mind. And apologies in advance for all the technical stuff that won't be set up properly. But we're in a title race here with Dundee United, and we'll be back on Tuesday at 5:30 PM. And we get to find out if we can get one step closer as we play the final 5 games before the split. Thank you for joining as always. Normal videos at 3:30 every day. And I'll see you on Tuesday night. Thanks for watching. I'll see you there.